everyone and welcome back, and in this video we will finish our Ring of Flowers image by Sheryll LaFond, and I'm going to begin with by completing the gems, and by doing that I'm going to be using this pen. This is a Sakura Gelly Glaze pen. You can just see the writing there. And there is the number for it, because sometimes these are quite hard to find, and you can either order the Sakura Stardust Jelly Roll by mistake, the clear one, or you can order the white gel pen by mistake. And off camera I went over my lines again with the white, just because some of them had either turned pink because of the purple pencils. I've noticed that happens quite a lot. You will see that with these gems here, that some of the lines are slightly pink. I didn't go back over those ones because they're small enough gems as is, and if I keep going over the top of them it'll just completely take out all of the colour, so I've just left those as they are. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go over those gems with the glaze pen. I'm just going to do this one, the big one, and the other one on the other side. And you basically, it sometimes is hard to see. You do not want to go over your white lines. If you do go over the white lines, make sure that the pen is barely touching the page, because these pens tend to lift off any other sort of gel pen or paint pen that you already have down. It may be difficult for you to even see where you've been with this pen, so sometimes you have to get a light just shining in the right direction for you to be able to see. So I'll lift this up to the camera, and if I can turn it in the light, there you go, you can just see where I've been. So a few of those don't look as though I've actually done anything on them. So I'll just go back over a couple. Just making sure that you stay within the lines. Don't worry if you go over the lines and you take off some of the paint pen, because you can go, when it's fully dry, you can go back over with your white gel pen or your Posca pen, depending on what you used, to add in the lines again. Sometimes with these it's a lot easier to leave your white lines until you've completed the whole thing. There you go. And when it dries, it will dry shiny, just like that. So I'm going to do that with the big one, and then this one on this side. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing on this one as I've just done on the smaller one. You can always tell if your pen is working if you just tilt your head slightly to the side, and you will be able to see the shine that comes off the pen. and I will leave a link in the description for Amazon, so you will be able to see about getting one of these pens yourself. They do come in other colours as well. I don't have the other colours. I only have this clear one because I've only had the need to use the clear one. I wouldn't mind getting the other colours and giving them a try on something, because the main aim of these pens is just to give your image, your colouring, a 3D effect. So it's a bit like a, I don't know if you've heard of them, but puffy paint. It's a bit like that, but as a pen. Obviously it's not as much of a 3D effect as a puffy paint pen, but it's generally the same idea. And these also, as the name suggests, give a glazed look to whatever you're colouring. So for things like this, or fairy wings, or the coat of a unicorn or Pegasus or an alicorn, these work really well on giving that perfect shine. If you just want the shine and you don't want glitter, that is. If you still want glitter, you could always use a glitter gel pen beforehand and then very, very carefully go over the glitter gel pen once it's fully dry, and then you will get the glitter and then the glazed 3D effect on the top. But I just think it gives that lovely final touch to a crystal. Just to make it pop from the page. There we go. So you can see some of that already on there. And there we go, that is the whole thing. And that one again. So you can see this one's now drying and it is really shiny. But yes, these on, you don't notice these if you were to take a photo, unless you took the photo pointing towards your camera, towards the light reflection. It really is just a personal touch for yourself when finishing your picture. So I'm now going to zoom back out so you can see the full image. There we go, and I'm just going to now continue the picture and finish the ring itself. And for that, I am going in with silver in the Prismacolor, and that is PC949. And in all of your darker areas, I'm just going to go over in a flat colour of the silver. From the base where the flowers are. And then I'm going to fade it out to this middle part here. And then I'm going to do the same again at this side. Not sure if these parts are part of the ring, but I'll just add them in anyways. again, as I did with the leaves and the flowers, these parts are all behind the leaves and flowers, so I am doing them dark, and then again here fading out to light. And then we have shadows under here because this is like set on to the band of the ring, so I'm going to add some of the silver underneath here and then just fade that out and fade that out, and I'm going to do that all the way along. And just do that for the whole part where this bit's set on top of the band. And then again, because these parts are just slightly raised, I'm just going to do a bit around these and fade it out. And same on this side. And then just a little bit around this bit here. If you're worried about when coming to do this bit that you may scratch off accidentally what you've just put on the gem, then do this and then do your gem. And there's no specific order that you have to do everything in. Right. Then I'm going to come in with 20% cold grey or cool grey, and that is PC1060, and you're just going to go over what you've just done. Again, fading out to this middle part here. And then you have your highlight in the middle section on the side here. Excuse the shaking of the camera, it's just the table that I'm using today. It's in front of the window, so I thought I'd move, as today seemed a little bit brighter than we've been having lately, which is a nice change. And everyone in my house at the moment seems to be sleeping except me. Ian's at work, Frank is asleep at my feet, Steve is asleep on the bed. She is our cat who we've had the longest, and the two kittens are asleep in their bed as well. But I think they're only asleep because I tired them out by playing with them earlier. Pulling their cage out, cleaning around it, making their bed all nice and tidy inside, giving them fresh cat litter and some lunch. And they thought that me tidying up with the dustpan and brush was a game. So they were helping, as they like to see, jumping on top of the dustpan and brush as I'm trying to brush up everything. Because I would have just hoovered it up, but I'm sure I'm cursed every time it comes to cleaning around where the kittens stay full time, because every time I come to get the hoover out, I have it on for about 2 seconds and it decides to run out of battery charge. So then I have to go and plug it in and get the dustpan and brush out and do it all by hand on my hands and knees. And it takes forever. So then of course I have them trying to help out with the dustpan and brush, which is hilarious to say the least, because they're pouncing up and down on top of the pan, and then they're hitting the dust, the brush, and then jumping at the brush, and then jumping on each other, and then when you put everything all back in, they are jumping in and out of their tray. Right, so, excuse me. Excuse me. Someone obviously did not get enough sleep last night. Right, so I'm going to come in now with my 50% cool grey, and that is PC1063, and I'm literally just going to go in the very darkest areas and just add that little bit more depth. I'm not using the darkest shade or black because I don't want it to be too dark, because then you're just going to take away the actual colour of the band. So if I just take one of the darker shades and just fade it out, that's perfect for adding the shadows. And then the same just around the bottom where the leaves are here. obviously underneath the flowers, and the same at this side. And then just around these flowers. And then I'm just going to do the same just on certain parts where the gems are. There we go. And then finally, for the actual picture, I'll just zoom out just a little bit more. So the whole picture's in there. I'm going to come in with my white Posca pen, and I am using a 0.7 pin tip, which is PC1MR. Just give that a shake there. And with this, I am literally just going to add in some highlights where I see fit. And there's a dog barking outside, but hopefully Frank doesn't retaliate, because that's one of his favourite things to do, is to retaliate at the dogs outside, even though I'm positive they can't hear him back, because Frank doesn't really have a bark, he has a grumble. But by the sounds of it, he hasn't woken up, so that's good. And there we go. And just add one here. And then I'm just going to come down to here, and we have this little stem here, and we have one here. These will most likely turn pink on top of the purple itself, but that's alright. Just going to add in a few extras to what is there. And then the same up here. And then with these ones, I'm just going to do the same with these, just go over where they are. Again, this isn't something you have to do. This is just something I like to do to finish off pictures. And on the lily here, I'm just going to go up the middle stem, the middle section of the plant, and then these I'm just going to do white as well. Doing these little bits doesn't really take very long, and to me it just adds final details in that obviously once when your colour's down you can't really go back in with, say, a white pencil to add these extra bits in. And I think that is that complete. I'm not going to add a background on this image because I think it stands out lovely the way it is. So I really hope you've enjoyed following along to this and seeing how I do crystals and adding highlights and just extra details, and also using a glaze pen, which, as you can see now, shining in my light, makes my gems really pop with the shine. And yes, there are other ways you can achieve a shine on gems, but this is one of the ways that I really like to do it. So yes, thank you for watching, everyone, and next time we will be doing a different image. I hope you enjoy. If you really like what you've seen and you'd like to see more, please like my channel, subscribe and press the bell. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's entirely up to you. I'd love it if you would leave me a comment. Again, that's entirely up to your person. But thanks again for watching. Goodbye.